Box to Box NBA Preview, hosted by Ndegz.
Welcome to my NBA Preview. My name is Ndegz, and I know this isn't a starting, but I've committed to this cause. Already done research on all 30 teams. I'm not gonna let this go. Number 25, the Houston Rockets. One of the more disappointing teams, one of the more disappointing seasons in their history was the 22-23 season. Obviously, their playoff hopes were dashed before even the turn of the calendar. Yeah, ever since Harden left, they just left a big hole in this team, and they've just been on recovery mode. I think this is going to be a much better year. With they finished with a 22-60 record, but I feel like they've already gone through the phase of let's get the youngsters in, let them play a bit, and then now it's time to bring in some veteran leadership. And this is how their roster looks like after the off-season. Players they've acquired: Dillon Brooks on a crazy contract. I actually need to find it, but it's wild. Then they got Boban Marjanovic, 7'3", and Fred VanVleet on a 3-year, $128 million. The guy who has the highest contract for an undrafted player ever. I think second one as well. Then obviously they acquired Victor Oladipo from the Miami Heat, Reggie Bullock, Aaron Holiday, Uncle Jeff. Then they extended Jabari Smith, Alperen Sengun. If you've not watched Sengun play, like, you are missing out. Jalen Green was extended as well. And probably the biggest acquisition of the offseason was getting coach Ime Udoka, who was suspended by the Celtics after, we all know what he did. And now he's coming in to coach this young team. Players they've lost. They lost KJ Martin, Patty Mills, Willie Cauley-Stein, and DJ Augustine, who I didn't even know was still in the league. Draft picks: Amen Thompson and the number 4 pick, Athletic defensive-minded player, playmaker. Then obviously Cam Whitmore, probably the steal of the draft, He was a projected top pick before he had some injury issues. Then the medical scared away most teams. So I feel like they got 2 proper building blocks in the draft. Then obviously expiring contracts was Victor Oladipo, $9.45 million expiring. Boban Marjanovic is also on an expiring. Aaron Holiday expiring. Nate Hinton and Reggie Bullock are also on minimums. And with those moves, this is how the Rockets look in the 2023-24 season. This is their projected starting 5. We have Fred VanVleet at point guard, Jalen Green at shooting guard, Dillon Brooks at small forward, Jabari Smith Jr. at power forward, and Alperen Sengun at center. That is 3 players that they have extended all in the starting 5. Then coming off the bench, you have Amen Thompson, their draft pick, Jae'Sean Tate, Tyree Eason, Jeff Green, Jock Landale. They have an interesting team, and I feel like defense is going to be preached a lot in this team as well. Big question I have for the Houston Rockets is, can Ime Udoka get the best out of these young players? Can they take the next step? They're all young. It's a very young team, obviously with the exception of Dillon Brooks, VanVleet in the starting 5, and then Boban coming off the bench. But can he get this team pairing? Can he get the other players? Because I know Ime is going to preach defense fast, right? So how good can their defense be? I still feel they're going to have issues in the half court, just the way young teams tend to be before you even have an identity, having so many new players. But the likes of, I like Sengun at center. I like how he plays. I like his court vision. A very unselfish player. Still needs to bulk up a bit more, but he's one of those. Then having VanVleet at point guard, at least now you have a bona fide scorer. He had a bit of a down season with the Raptors last year, but before that, there's a reason why he was paid what he paid. He's also a champion, an NBA champion with the Raptors. So then obviously bringing in toughness with Dillon Brooks at small forward. So they've tried to plug in a few holes that they had in the team. This is the next step in their rebuild, So for me, the biggest question is, can Ime Udoka, with the combination of VanVleet and Dillon Brooks, bring the best out of Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, and Alperen Sengun? 24-second shot clock prediction. I believe the Houston Rockets are going to be probably in that 12-13 area in the West. They're going to have 1 or 2 players who might actually make that sophomore game. I think Jalen Green is a shout. might also be a shot for most improved player for me, but I still feel they don't have enough to make it to the playoffs. They still don't have enough to beat the best teams in the West. The likes of the OKC, Mavs, Timberwolves, and Jazz are still slightly ahead of them. And yeah, I just see them not making the playoffs and probably getting about 28 wins. And with that, that's the preview for the Houston Rockets. Next up in 24th spot is Tune In to Find Out.
Ready for the ultimate slam dunk of content? Don't miss out on any of our NBA previews. Hit subscribe and be the MVP of your basketball knowledge game.